Pete Moore and welcome to PCM GUNS. This vlog number 2 is dedicated to military bolt action rifles. Reason being that I've got a shooting story coming up and I need a number 4 for it. And I checked out Henry Crank's website and they've got 100 Enfield rifles, SMLEs, number 4s, P13, P14 and maybe something even rarer. And I thought, I just need to borrow one. Then it got me thinking about, generally speaking, military bolt action rifles, which for me, because I started my shooting career in 1980, once I left the army. I shot in Canada, I was in a club over there, but that's when my real sort of UK civilian shooting started. You go to any local club and probably the first club rifle you saw would be a Lee Enfield number 4 of some description. They were cheap as chips, a familiar rifle, the Great British Service rifle replaced by the SLR. Ammo, again, military ball ammunition was cheap as chips. And it seemed everybody had them. Either that or short magazine Lee Enfield. You occasionally saw 98K Mausers of 7.92, but it's the same sort of thing. They were just like a rifle you cut your teeth on, and also back then there was competitions for them. There was an association called LERA, Lee Enfield Rifle Association, which I believe still exists today, which catered purely for the Lee Enfield rifles. And they run comps, there's like some history section. It's a bit of a nerdy thing, but if you like rifles and guns, then it's not a nerdy thing, it's very interesting, and it's like-minded people. But it got me thinking, back in the 80s and 90s, there was so much choice of military bolt actions. I've seen Swiss Schmidt Rubin K31s, the Russian Moisin Nagant was very popular. You'd see Springfields, the French Maz 36, that sort of thing, plus obviously Lee Enfields, number 4s, SMLEs. And there was just a lot of stuff about, and everybody seemed to have them. They weren't expensive. I think I paid about 250 quid for a brand new Swedish M96 Mauser in 6.5 by 55, brand new service rifle, never issued, still in the grease, still wrapped in Hessian. And they're there. And it just occurred to me, what's happened to them all? Because Cranks used to have a lot of guns in, a diverse range of guns in. And say now they're making a big thing about they've got these 100 Enfields in, which again, I'm quite excited about because I've asked them to pick me a decent shooter so I can have a good play with it. But it's just a thought. No, are they still relevant anymore? Do people still want them? When you say I'm 70, and obviously there's a gap between me, a huge age gap between me and a lot of modern shooters. You know, younger guys that have grown up without self-loading rifles, without handguns, who probably look at shooting in a completely different way than what I do. I don't know. But it's just a thought. I'd like to know what you think about it. You know, if you're an old codger like me and you probably owned an Enfield or something of that nature, and you've still got it, because I haven't got any of the rifles I've owned. In total, I've owned 5 different military bolt actions. 4 were brand new, say still in the grease, and 1 was a Springfield 1903A3, which was made up of components. So technically, it's a real rifle, but it's a modern build. So yeah. So what do you think? Is there room for it? You know, people like Lira, we're all getting older. People that own Enfields, are we giving up? I know the NRA used to run the Trafalgar competition, which is for all classic guns, from muzzle loaders up to sort of military bolt actions, you name it, they ran comps for it, plus gallery rifle. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. Come back to me if you're interested. I'd like to hear what you've got to say. Second subject, which is another one dear to my heart as a hunter, is non-lead. Okay, I'm not going to bang on about everything about non-lead, just my views on it. Do I like the idea of non-lead? Not particularly. What I really don't like is the fact that lead-cooled ammunition has not been banned yet. It's going to happen. We're going to lose lead-cooled ammunition. I'm not sure all the calibers and types, but we're going to lose it. And as a deer hunter, that's a concern. And that's probably the biggest concern of the rifle shooters to date. It may be different if the lead ban goes through on everything, like target shooting, because basically, though I would say today that non-lead cooled ammunition for the hunter is very good, and also there's lots of bullets for reloading about, and friend of mine who runs, he basically has land and he rents it out for stalking. He's done a lot of research onto non-lead bullets, you know, the monolithic hollow point and that sort of thing. And he's now saying that there's a number of brands of bullet and also makes of ammunition using non-lead that are as effective as lead-cooled bullets, which is good. I've been using non-lead for boar hunting in my 8.5 by 63, which is basically a 33806 with an Ackley type neck on it, for many, many years now. 185 grain Barnes TSX hollow point, and then later on the tipped TSX, which is the same thing with the ballistic tip. I got it because it's a big, tough bullet. At the muzzle, you're getting over 3,000 foot-pounds, and believe you me, it really puts those boars down. And that's the only reason I got it. This was before the whole non-lead thing came into being. I just picked it as a round I've used, and I think I've used that loading more than anything else to shoot wild boar with, and it works. There's others. But then I've also, when I was the editor of Shooting Sports magazine, I get a lot of stuff sent to me. I was sent some Hornady GMX in 150 grain, and I shot roe with it, muntjac with it, purely out of interest, because back then the lead thing wasn't an issue. And it worked very well indeed. So I'm at home with it. I've now got loads for all of my centerfire rifles in non-lead variants, different types that work well. So come the transition, if I'm still shooting, then I, like many other people, won't have a problem with it. So what I object to is the fact that we seem to be pushing on ourselves this non-lead ban. And a lot of people say, if you come stalking me, you can't use lead-cooled bullets, you've got to use, you know, non-lead bullets. And if your rifle might not like non-lead. It does happen. Some guns just don't like it. I mean, today the industry, certainly in Europe, are making barrels that are more tolerant towards non-lead loads than a jacketed lead-cooled bullet. There's that. I'm going to carry on shooting deer with my standard, lead-cooled ammunition, be what it is for 270 or whatever I'm shooting it through, until the ban. I'm not going to go outside the ban. I'll just obey the law. But I can see no reason why I should stop shooting things with lead-cooled bullets until I'm told not to, because I still prefer that sort of bullet construction, because it's proved over the years that it works. Call me a bit of a stickler, but I don't know. It's going to happen. There's no way around it. The big concern is where it goes, because a lot of the airgun people get worried about non-lead ammunition for air guns for hunting, which is an issue. And also there's the thought, will .22 rimfire, the rimfire rounds, which rely on lead really, certainly sort of the .22 long rifle stuff does, will they get the chop? And because from what I've read, reports on non-lead .22 ammo is not particularly impressive. I'm not saying it's not going to go somewhere safe and somewhere right, but it's not amazingly impressive so far. And people are saying it's not that accurate, and accuracy is all. So there you go. That's my thoughts. If you're shooting lead-cooled, just bear in mind that legally you can still shoot it. That's not a problem. But it's the other side of the coin. People will say you can't shoot lead on my land anymore, because if they're selling the game you've shot back to the game dealers, the game dealers are going to say, oh, we're not taking lead because the big supermarkets won't take a roe deer that's been shot with lead. And so we're sort of like the two bans we've had in the UK, the circular rifle ban and the more cataclysmic handgun ban. The shooting industry and the shooters are sort of defeating themselves with their attitude towards these things. Anyway, if you think I'm talking a little about what's the name, good luck, just tell me, because it's a subject that we all need to get our heads around. Okay, thanks for listening in. More soon. So, channel's PCM Guns. If you like what you saw, support the channel, subscribe, tell your mates, and if you didn't like it, tell me as well, because it's a healthy discussion. So it's pmoore.shootingsports@gmail.com, and it's PCM Guns. I'll catch you later. Good shooting.